Great. First of all, thank you, Carby, for inviting me to join all of you and to share what I've learned for the last 2 years. And my name is Hokan, and I'm the co-founder of the company Musey. We're based in San Francisco. We are a community of designer, blogger, and photographer who wants to make the maker movement possible because there's a movement that young makers want to promote their work and want to reach out to a larger audience, and we're building product to support that movement. Before I start, I kind of want to ask you guys questions. When was the last time you take a picture that is not a selfie nor with people in it?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. What is that?
It's a landscape.
Oh, it's a landscape.
Yeah.
What kind of landscape?
On the mountain, in the mountain.
Oh, in the mountain. And why are you taking that picture?
Yeah.
Why are you taking that?
Because I'm attracted by the landscape.
Okay, you walk by that, and is it beautiful or something?
Yeah, sure, it's really beautiful, very beautiful, impressed.
Great. Well, the reason why I'm asking it is because I think that photos is a means to engage the world around us. The reason why we take pictures is because we tend to, we take pictures of things that we want to remember and also to understand, to appreciate, and also to connect. And most of all is want to appropriate. You may ask, like, why do we want to appropriate something by taking a picture? And I tend to think that it is a desire to acquire the best sustenance from the environment we live in. And I'm going to explain what's the correlation between like this desire to acquire something from the space that we're living in and also taking pictures. And it can be witnessed actually in the evolution of the human society. And back in 10,000 years ago, we have the hunting gathering and our ancestors actually moving from place to place to get the best resources in order for the sake of survival. And in the 15th century, of course, the European countries, they're competing with each other by establishing a trade routes to reaching to the east. And the ultimate goal is also to acquire more resources from foreign territories. And in the modern age, of course, we send astronauts, we send the Mars rovers to the moon, to Mars, to explore, to probe a world that is unknown. We want to see what's the possibilities of living and migrate to a world that we don't know. So at this point, I'm kind of want to ask, what is the kind of hunting and gathering in this century? It's not 15th century, it's not 20th century. In 21st century, what is that? What's the hunting gathering? And I found out that actually this is what it is. It's funny, but then it somewhat reflects the reality because we are accustomed to engage the object through our lens, and the lens helps us to frame the context and also to make a statement because the photos you took are the brick and mortar of your digital presence. That's why it's so important for us to select really good stuff to take pictures. And I want to introduce you to Leslie. And Leslie was in her late 20s. She worked in finance, but in her free time, she started a blog called Spot SF. And what she does is to find out and feature places that with the best styles. And whenever she visit a really good place, she would take pictures of it. She'll pin it to Pinterest. She'll post it to Instagram and also write a review of the space in her own blog called Spot SF. And so there's a lot of work that she's doing just for the sake of like publishing a space. And she's not alone. We have Melanie, we have Cindy, we have Isa, we have more people that actually constantly finding good spaces and good design inspiration around them. So I tend to believe that, let me see, with all these like people that are doing hunting like design hunting, it makes me think that like we all live in a society where we constantly immerse ourselves in an explosion of informations. 10 years ago, we spent a lot of time in web environment, and right now we spend a lot of time in smartphone. And in the next 10 years, we're going to, because with the abundance of VR and AR, we're going to dive into a totally new platform. And we'll be going deeper and deeper to this digital world. And I want to ask a question. So what is the relationship between these new platforms to our real world? Because I think our real world is still very important to us. I wonder, is it possible to redefine a way to explore the physical world by leveraging the new consumer behavior, which is you constantly publishing and posting great pictures? What if we turn these places, the spa, the restaurant, the cafe, into a new hunting ground? And what does it mean? I'm going to explain to you later. Do you remember the last time? Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, this is Carby's boyfriend, by the way.
He's the owner of the flat.
Yeah, so be nice to him. So do you remember the last time you went to a nice place, a restaurant, cafe, or hotel? And there's something that inside the space that really intriguing and captivating, and you ask the question, what is that? Like, what is that chair in the picture? And what is that table? And Musey, we launched an app called Design Scout this year, basically to address this moment of curiosity. We help people to discover and collect real-world inspirations. And I'm going to walk you through a typical use case of Design Scout. So we have Cindy here. Cindy is a photographer, and she's one of the users of Design Scout. And from time to time, every day, she'll receive a notification from us and telling them there's a daily feed of collections and that are curated design inspiration that we provide to her. And today, when she opened the app, she found out the collection is Design Dining. Basically, it's featuring the best, the restaurant with best style, interior style. And in the feed, she found out a place called Boulevard based in San Francisco. She loved the style. Look at the lamp, the wallpaper, the table everything is like very well designed and crafted. So she saved it to her profile and make sure that she remembers she wants to visit. Later in the week, she was in Boulevard, and while she was in Boulevard, our app would remind her, oh, do you want to find out something more about Boulevard because I know that you're saving it. So she found out more pictures actually belong to the same space. She goes through one by one, and when she taps on one of the picture, what we do is actually recognize some of the furniture and design inside the picture, inside the space, and telling her what is the story behind these objects. So in this case, we're telling them, oh, this lamp that you're looking in this space is actually designed by Tom Dixon. And I assume that some people here knows Tom Dixon. But what is fascinating about the story behind is this is when Tom Dixon traveled to India to find inspiration. So basically this lamp is an integration of the traditional craft in India, and now Tom is repackaging the skills and the craft in India and remodel a new design that Cindy is witnessing. And you see that at the bottom of the page is a caption information provided by another user. So what we're trying to do is to create a community of Design Scout that have a strong sense of like design, and they all love like the best stuff around the world. So they're helping each other to actually understanding the space around them. Other than that, we have several other features. We have, as I mentioned before, we created collections that we have the tea house, we have the hotels, we have the dining, and basically we're helping people understanding their day-to-day space much better. We also notice that people tend to find very specific things. They want to find the tiles for the new homes. They want to find the new chairs for the office. So we have the explore sections in the center to help people find things very quickly by style. And most of all, it's not just about finding products, because there are designers behind all this product that are working very hard to push the product out. So we also help young designers like this Envelope AD to create a designer profile. So whenever you check out the project, the space, through the app, you're able to know more about the designer behind it. So we help them set up a profile. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to summarize what we're doing. So this is the dynamic of discovery and that happening inside Design Scout. We have the designer. The designer, of course, they're the mastermind behind the design, but then most of the time they need more editorial work because the design won't promote and speak by itself. So we have Scout. Scout is a community like you and me who love design. They can be photographer, but they can work at a hospital, anyone, but they have a sense of passion in design. So they would make a collections and publish it. So they're basically the ambassador of the designer. So consumer that doesn't do anything, they're just consumer of information in the app, they will look at the collection and find things that fits the situation the best. So with the collection, they're able to go back to the designer and find out more about, okay, who is the designer behind and what's the story of the product. So what I'm trying to do here is to, what Musey is trying to do is to reveal the design that is hidden in plain sight. What it means is that right now you tend to buy things from a store. You buy a TV from electronic stores, you buy chairs from a furniture store. But then there's a waste of resources because design and good objects is everywhere. Why you have to go to a store to buy things? Not to mention the brick and mortar is dropping sales, like they no longer exist. So can we kind of leverage space with good design and turn it into a showroom? So I think that's it for the product, but before I end, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background of Musey, just give you a sense of the team. So my founder and I, Jude, are studying in the design school back in Boston, and this is the environment. And you see all the people here, they are from a background of architecture, urban planning, landscape. Everyone work on the same roof. So we have a strong sense of collaborations. We tend to like pin up along the corridor and then we look at people. And most important is that all this talent under this same roof will be the brand and the design of the future. But the problem is that not every one of us, including myself, can afford to go to retail. What does it mean that whenever you go to a really nice featured store, they only target the master. Kind of you only target like Hardid or like Gary, but you and me doesn't really have a chance in that case. So what can we do to help the young designer to promote their work? So I think that by revealing the product inside a space, we're able to help young designer to like speak for them. And this is one Nicholas who has a company in San Francisco and doing custom furniture. So he mentioned about actually, I get an order from people who first discovered my desk in the office and Dropbox, Airbnb and Live, who want a desk like that for themselves, which means that behavior exists. Like people go to somebody other places, they found good stuff and they will ask friends like, where do you get it? So that's what we're trying to tap into, and hopefully we're going to help the young designer more and more by building this product. And thank you.